What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on. I saw a recent episode of Joson Whitlock show where Joson Whitlock was basically saying that he thinking that people kind of jumping the gun with Shedeur Sanders, his victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. They think that it's too much hype about the situation, right? And I'm kind of in the middle. Like I heard some of what I heard what Stephen A. Smith said, about Shedeur. I agree with some of what Stephen A. Smith said. Joson Whitlock makes some points. I agree with a little bit of what Joson Whitlock said, not a whole lot. But I'm kind of in the middle, man. I'm just, if I'm a Cleveland Brown fan, like it's cautious, cautious optimism. I think that I like the energy that he brings to the team, like the excitement. Team they play a lot different. It's when you have a quarterback out there that has confidence, and don't look like the moment is too big for him, like he been there before, then that just breeds a different kind of energy in the team. And I think at the very least, I think that's what the team need. They don't want their leader to be out there looking like he's struggling, right? And so with that being said, I want to listen to what Joson Whitlock has to say and then comment, add my comments to it.
I've seen this. I want to put here's Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. They're mad that Shedeur didn't get a game ball.
That man couldn't flip Shedeur football, Ocho.
You know the man wasn't flipping him no football, you know the man. That is not the individual that they want at the helm. They made that clear a long time ago. The game that they've been playing in training camp, him not getting reps, we understand that. So therefore, you actually want him to give him credit after the game? That ain't happening. So to me, it's not surprising to me because okay, we already know what it is. We know you're not our guy. I think Shedeur even knows that as well. He's not tripping. I'm going to prepare myself so when the opportunity presents itself, the end result looks like today. The most important stat, that W. That's all that matters. On the next week. I'll see you Wednesday.
All right. So now how I feel about giving Shedeur Sanders a game ball. I probably don't really have an issue with Stefanski not giving Shedeur Sanders a game ball, right? The defense really played outstanding. I don't know, Myles Garrett, play outstanding as usual. I think what they sacked Geno like 7 times or something like that. So I don't have a problem with him not giving Shedeur, the game ball. And the fact that he didn't give him the game ball don't mean that he's not acknowledging that Shedeur had a decent game. I think, and another thing, you don't want to be too fast to jump out there and pet. You just want to you want to maintain some level of, keep him hungry. Keep him in a position where he think he needs to prove himself. All of a sudden just rewarding him and giving him all of these accolades and giving him the key to the city and all that stuff right away. I don't, that's not a good. I wouldn't do it, and I'm glad, and it's not a bad thing that Stefanski didn't give him the game ball, not right off the bat, later on, just allow him to play some more, and that's it. So let me get you some of what Joson Whitlock has to say about it.
You and I have both been in situation. And Charlotte, I know y'all probably y'all want to hear dating advice from, but we've all he
shouldn't be giving out dating advice. Ocho, he never learned.
She was gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, come on, wait, take your time.
I wanted her so bad.
Yes.
But when it didn't work out, I realized the other one, she was the best for me, and I needed to give her credit because the one that I wanted,
right.
It didn't work out. I understand Stefanski won't Dylan Gabriel, but you got to understand the guy now is the best for you.
I I see what he's trying to say, but still, you can separate the two. Like, all right, if it don't work out with Dylan Gabriel, that don't mean just because it don't work out with Dylan Gabriel that you have to all jump off the roof or jump out the window and give all these accolades and everything right away to Shedeur Sanders. Like I said, continue to encourage him to work. You can acknowledge that he had a decent game, but you don't have to jump out the window right away and give him a whole bunch of accolades and the key to the city. It's just too far. You want to keep him hungry.
This is Kevin Stefanski does not want Dylan Gabriel. Kevin Stefanski is not Stevie Wonder. He has eyes. He's got a midget quarterback who's no good, who can't throw the ball downfield. And so he knows how easy it is to get rid of Dylan Gabriel. He knows that Dylan Gabriel won't cost him his job. Shedeur Sanders will, because of the brown nosers. Because Kevin Stefanski is not, we got Cam Newton taping videos talking about, well, he ain't coached enough quarterbacks of culture. He hasn't coached enough black quarterbacks. He still might be racist. He's got Shannon Sharp, Ocho Cinco, Shady McCoy, Emmanuel Acho, RG3 playing the race card on him, and that will take on a life of its own. Time you throw in Stephen A. Smith and Ryan Clark and the people at ESPN, he fears Shedeur Sanders, and he should, because Shedeur Sanders is Black Tim Tebow. And the hypocrisy of the people who hated Tim Tebow, who are now doing the exact same thing as the people that love Tim Tebow. There were people like me that when Tim Tebow was out there, and God bless his soul, I really liked Tim Tebow. But everybody with a brain could see, like, hey, man, he's not good enough for all the drama that he causes.
What all right, Tim Tebow. I like Tim Tebow. I personally didn't feel like Tim Tebow got a good enough. He didn't get really a good enough opportunity to me. I think I don't know. I just ain't think he got a good enough opportunity. But I think the Tim Tebow situation and the Shedeur Sanders situation is different. Also, if I'm Kevin Stefanski, I'm not worried about what Ryan Clark say, or I didn't hear him say anything about like him not having, enough experience with black quarterbacks. And I'm just really trying to do what's best as far as winning. And I think he probably is just going to block that out. Like if Shedeur Sanders, like I said, performs and he don't have a choice but to put Shedeur Sanders out there. Now, if he go against that, Shedeur has some success and he energizes the team, and then he don't have a choice really, because all the leverage goes to to the player that's performing. Who wouldn't want the best player out there? Like Joson Whitlock said, Dylan Gabriel is he's not a big guy, and he don't have the arm strength to make some of the throws. So if Shedeur can do it, then more power to him. It don't really matter, But I would block out anybody who say, "Well, this guy don't have enough experience with black quarterbacks and all that other nonsense." That I really seriously doubt if he feeding into that. And it can get political. The situation can get political, but it all depends on how Kevin Stefanski handles that and manages that situation.
And so there were those of us out there like, hey, man, this isn't worth it. He's not that good of a quarterback. There's all this drama and this out of control fan base that comes along with him. It's not worth the drama. Shedeur is Black Tim Tebow. But all the black people that criticize the Tebow supporters, now they're doing the exact same thing as the Tebow supporters as it relates to Shedeur Sanders. This is a 5th round pick. that threw a nice long ball yesterday. I saw somewhere someone said, man, I wish I could remember who said this, but it's like, oh, I think it was Myles Garrett said, there's only a handful of quarterbacks who could make that throw. And I was like, Myles, I know you sacked the quarterback and you're always in the backfield and maybe you can't see what happens downfield. But as nice as the throw was that Shedeur made, that happens every weekend in the NFL. 2 or 3 times a weekend.
I think Myles Garrett was just happy that they have a quarterback on their staff instead of him saying that our quarterback could, the last quarterback we had couldn't make that throw. He probably phrased it like that. But yeah, that play that Shedeur made was a good play. It wasn't outstanding, and I agree with Joson Whitlock that, plenty of other quarterbacks can make that throw. Joe Flacco, they had Joe Flacco. He could make that throw. And so, I just think that Shedeur just brings a different energy to the team. And that might be what the team need, instead of, because for a while when Joe Flacco, he brought a different type of energy to the team, but Joe is an older guy. He's more settled. He's not rah-rah. He's not going to take some chances that Shedeur, that might work in the Browns' behalf too. The fact that you got a young quarterback who don't know what he don't know, he's gonna get out there and he's gonna take some chances, and his teammates gonna love him. Sometimes they may win because of it, but he's willing to take that chance. Whereas though Joe Flacco may not take certain chances, but I don't know. It's just a different kind of energy, I think, for right now. And hopefully it work out for him. Especially, I want to see. I'm not even a Cleveland Brown fan because I'm here in Baltimore, but I do want to see, like Myles Garrett, when he played the way he played, and he chasing down this sack record, and then you're on a team that y'all not even winning. It's kind of really like I don't know. It's bittersweet probably for Myles Garrett to be playing for the Cleveland Browns. They not winning. Imagine how magical that'd be if you're on a winning team and you break a sack record, so. But yeah, man, I don't think it's too much hype around Shedeur compared to not enough hype in the past. The fan base gonna love it. His teammates gonna love it. And everybody's gonna play different. And if that's what they need to energize them and motivate them, not a bad thing. A lot of people don't like the fact that like this kid is arrogant, but like I said, it is what it is. So I'll see how he handles this situation going up against the San Francisco 49ers. I don't think, and really, I like the 49ers. But I don't think that game is going to be too big for him either. I really don't. And because he just young and delusional like that. You know what I mean? Like anybody else, maybe Dylan Gabriel probably would be second guessing himself and hesitating. Whereas though this guy, his confidence is through the roof. He might not do that. And sometimes, things work out for you when you have the right attitude and the right energy and the right aura around you. So maybe that's what we'll hope happens. So that's my take on it. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.